I do want to swing back to Nuclear Messiah and talk about the sound itself. Considering that it is kind of, it was put together as a project, it sounds very lively. And what I mean by that is it doesn't sound like you took an MP3 and added a guitar line to it and then sent it to a drummer to add a fill or, it sounds, again, outsider listening to it, sounds like four or five guys in a room jamming something out.
Yeah,
how
man.
how were you able to capture that live vibe, even though I'm assuming it was with a lot of throwing files around?
It was all remote, and that comes back into like decades of these incredible musicians that have been doing this for, so long that when they did it, they just brought it, that's how they do it now. And I was like, every time I'd hear a track, I'd be like, can you believe this? And there's moments like in Ride the Sky, the Arthur Brown song.
Mm-hmm.
When that solo spot came up and I realized that was going to be my solo section, I couldn't believe the bass and drums there. It sounded like a serious jam, like those guys had to be in the same room, but they
Right.
weren't. And so that led me on a like when I heard that, that led me to do that solo. And it was like I think that was the second take. I think I got the first theme and then the second take was that solo.
Wow.
Because it was so rocking. I mean, those guys were like bringing it, man.
Sure. Is there a line for you as a player between sounding raw and sounding polished? I mean, you've obviously done both in your career. Is there a line, or is there a way, I guess, is more where you listen to something and you're like, nah, too polished, can't use that. Let me raw it up a little bit, or let me do this or that to make it more real.
Yeah, sometimes I call it shiny.
Okay.
Sometimes, like I have a song that we wrote with David Eagle that's on another Ohm record that I'll tell you about later. But there's a song called Tin Man, and it was a total overdub deal, totally overproduced, super shiny. We never released it, but I'm going to release it on this record just because it's a good song.
Okay.
But yeah, yeah, no, I don't like it when it gets to the point where it sounds like, it's a it's a pop record.
Mhm. Yeah, well, but at the same time, look, I know a ton of musicians, Chris, as do you. And y'all are never satisfied with what you do, no matter what you do.
That's true.
And that being said, I think that's how a lot of records end up becoming too clean, is because you guys will play something, you'll be like, there's a little squeal here, there's a little scratch on
Oh
the
yeah.
string or what, and you almost just by osmosis of being in the studio, it forces you to take the dirt out of it, so to speak. Is that something that you fight with regularly?
No, man, I've gotten to the point where when I hear something and I know I've done something wrong, and if it's not too terrible, I think of like all the like I've heard Pink Floyd songs where my favorite part is the guitar mistake.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like I've gotten to the point where if something we put down has vibe and feel, nothing's perfect. And
Sure.
there are no mistakes, really. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah,
Do
you could be playing in the wrong key, but to a point, you gotta go with the feel take instead of the
mhm.
perfect take. Perfect takes are boring.
Sure. Yeah, perfect takes are, boy bands.
Yeah,
That's
no, it's too
perfect take
safe.
stuff.
When
Yeah.
when it gets super safe like that, then it's kind of like the song Tin Man. It's just
Mhm. Do you think that that's a problem that we have in today's 2026's metal world, is that everything is way too clean and no risk taken at all? Everything seems very calculated.
the problem is um, computers are so powerful and you can do so much stuff that before it might not even be the same thing you recorded by the time you're done playing with it.
True.
Like, here, let's do this, let's do that. No, let's turn it around. Let's make it backwards. It's like, um, we're trying not to get in that trap.
Sure.
Um, and that's why, 90% of this Ohm record's live. So it's got the feel that that you like and I like.
Sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.